Hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Victorian Studio podcast. My name is Maureen and I'm coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada on Monday, December the 21st, 2015. Welcome to all new and returning viewers. Thank you for visiting with me today. I know everybody is so busy at this time of year. I really do appreciate you stopping by and spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoy your stay. Well, this week has been very unusual. If you've been watching before, you know that I was in a frantic rush to get my basement cleaned out and organized because that's where I store my Star Wars collectibles. And I was contacted a few weeks ago about doing an interview before the latest Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens, opened late last week. So on Thursday, the crew from CTV News came by and spent about an hour filming me and my collection, and so I'll share some of that at the end of this episode. They were kind enough to allow me to film them filming me, so I'll add that in at the end with also some other photos of my collections so that you can see it a little bit clearer than on video. So I hope you enjoy that. But if you're not into Star Wars, you don't have to watch that. I'll tack that on at the very end. Other than that, I took Thursday off so I could be home for the interview, of course, because it was midday. So I took a vacation day, and when I got back on Friday into the office, I was greeted with this. That's my office door, and a poster that one of the secretaries had put up. I had won the Survivor pool at work. Every time there's a new Survivor season, a few of us would get together and throw in $5 into the pot, and whoever drew the winning name would win the pot. And they're also then responsible for running the next version of the pool. So I had chosen Jeremy, the firefighter, and he won. He got all the votes at the end to win the latest series of Survivor. I'm so happy he won, but I was also happy I won $100. So that was great. So I have to think of something very special to treat myself to, since that was kind of found money. So I still have yet to decide what I'm going to treat myself to. So, but that was really sweet, that sign on my door. So a nice way to start my final day at work on Friday for 2 weeks. Now I'm off until the beginning of January, so that's wonderful, because I had so much to do to get prepared for Christmas yet, because I was doing so much work downstairs. Everything else, my knitting and Christmas preparations, were all getting pushed to the side. So now that I'm off for 2 weeks, it's wonderful. This morning I went out to the mall as soon as it opened up at 9 o'clock, and got a parking space right by the door. I walked right in. All the stores that I was shopping at, I didn't line up for one of them. Got out of there within the hour, just when it was starting to get super busy. And I'm done. I'm done my shopping. So now I have a few days to wrap and do my baking and get everything prepared for Friday. So at least now I'm getting back on track. I feel so much better now that I have my shopping done. So yeah, it's been a very busy week. So let's see. I'm sure, like everybody else, getting ready for the holidays is pretty stressful, but I was thrilled to see that there were 20 new entries in the Toy Knit-Along Finished Objects thread on Ravelry in our group. So I will go over those today and show you what was entered. Thank you everyone for entering. Now, if you haven't been here before, this toy knit and crochet along was started by Talia and Marlisha, the two lovely ladies at Pen, Hook and Needles podcast, and they very kindly asked me to co-host with them, along with Kim at Me, My Dog and Some Yarn, and Pharmagaruni at the Yarnaceuticals podcast. So If you're a member of all 4 of those podcast groups, you can certainly quadruple dip your entries in there. So as I say, we've got 20 entries this week. There's only 10 days left. Can't believe it. In the knit along, it started October the 1st and goes until December 31st. And so my podcast after the end of the year, the first podcast of 2016, I will be going through the prize winners. So at the end of showing you all of the entries this week, I'll also show you the prizes that are up for offer in our group. So let's get on with the toys. First of all, we have from Rose, or Rose Bob. She knit a very cute Santa head and peace dove. These are ornaments, and the peace dove ornament is very beautiful. It's a pattern by Leslie Stanfield. So thank you, Rose. Those are really lovely. The next one is by Vonnie, or Studio Von Design on Ravelry. She made a Mr. Happy as a Clam, and she knit this pattern by Cheese Zombie. And I've never seen a clam knit before, so that was really cool to see. So thank you, Vonnie. It's really neat. The third one I have to share with you is by Angela, or Rainbow Ange on Ravelry. She knit an adorable stripy monkey for her nephew at Christmas. And I love that face. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not knit. This was crocheted. And this pattern is Cheeky Monkey by Liz Ward. And she said in her notes, it's going to be hard to give it away because it's so cute. And yes, I can see that. It's really adorable. So thank you, Angela. Next, Allison, or Allison Roseboom on Ravelry, knit some teacher's gifts. She made some mini snowmen, and they are Mochi Mochi Snowmen by Anna Harakovic. And I love all the little different scarves that you added to each one. I'm sure the teachers loved those gifts. And then next we have Claudia, who knit a Bluebird of Happiness. This pattern is by Sarah Elizabeth Kellner, and she made this for a friend's Christmas gift. So that's really nice. I'm sure she'll love it. Next, Valeria made a minion for her son, and this is crocheted as well. And this pattern is Kevin Minions by Judith Goulian. And Valeria mentioned that she changed the eyes, and I think they turned out awesome. Well done. I really love this. I've never seen the Minions movie, but I've seen so many Minions things all around. You see them everywhere. They're almost as prevalent as Star Wars. And yeah, he just looks great. I love the way crochet looks in toy patterns. They come out so nice. I really love it. I'm gonna have to try that one day. The next one is by Sheila. She knit a replica of her own bunny. After seeing me doing some toys of my cats, she decided to make a Henry's Rabbit by Sarah Elizabeth Kellner, and as a replica of her own bunny. And here's also a picture of her bunny. Very, very cute. So thank you very much, Sheila. It's really adorable. Both your real bunny and the toy. Now, speaking of bunnies, Michelle knit an adorable Wee Ones Seamless Knit Toys by Susan B. Anderson. That's where the pattern is from. She knit the bunny from that book, and it's so cute, and it goes so well with the cardi and the hat set that you made with the yellow buttons. So thank you very much, Michelle. Sharon from as Elvin Knits on Ravelry knit some bunny nuggets, and she made these little guys for children's goodies bags, and this pattern is by Rebecca Danger, and I love the embroidered flowers that you added to them as well. So thank you, Sharon. Next, by Maria, or Seductive Berry on Ravelry, she crocheted a Yoda. She was so excited to have found this new kit by Lucy Collin, and it's called Star Wars Mini Amigurumi, and so she started with Yoda, and it's really, really cute. Thank you, Maria. Speaking of crochet, Joanne crocheted an elf, and this is the pattern Christmas Elf by Julia Erskine, and this she made for her daughter, and it is so well done. I just love the photos that you took of your elf under your tree. It's really adorable. So thank you for entering that. Michelle knit a second Wee Ones bunny, and this time in white. And I love the baby blue scarf that you put on this one, Michelle. So she knit a pair of bunnies, the same pattern. And next, Anita knit some chocolate chip cookies. And she said it was to go with a book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. And I remember reading that book to my daughter, so very, very cute and looks delicious. This pattern is by Anita Harakovic as well. Rose is back with another two knits. The first one is Danger Dog by Sue Stratford, and also Super Cat, also by the same designer. And she said they were very fiddly, but I think it's worth it. They both look great, so I just love Danger Dog and Super Cat. Thank you, Rose. Okay, and the last few entries that we've had in the FO thread were all done by the same person, Vicky B. She did 6 toys that she entered. The first one is Dexter's Dino, and that's by a pattern Dinosaur Jr. by Katie Boyette, and this is knit, and I believe it's for her son Dexter. I think it's a Stegosaurus, and yeah, it's wonderful and very cute. That's what she put in her notes. I do agree. Next, she made a Hamish the Sheep, and that pattern is by Pattern Recognition. Now, she's done a few by that designer. It looks like maybe you were doing a bunch of test knits for her, and I like how you added a scarf onto your sheep. Very cute. The next one she did was an Anthony the Monkey. Now, this looks like it's a personal pattern that you had made this, and it's very, very adorable as well. She also made Martin the Bear, and this is a polar bear, again by Pattern Recognition. Very cute. I love his big nose, so I love polar bears. Really, really cute. And the last two she did, one is called Tad the Toad, and again by Pattern Recognition. Now this is, the designer is Emma from Calgary, and really, really cute. And lastly, Gary the Sloth, again by Emma in Calgary, Pattern Recognition. So, wow, you were busy doing all of those toys. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for all of your entries this week. It's wonderful seeing all the chatter and all of the objects in the finished object thread. So we're getting up there into quite a few. There was a few little chatter entries, but I think we're up to like 99 entries in that thread. So with just a few of the chatters, we've still got quite a few entries for the toy along. So I'm just thrilled. Thank you, everyone. So I thought this week I would show you again what the prizes are for all the entries that will be drawn at the end of the month, or well, I guess I'll draw them on January the 1st. So let's see. Pull these forward here. Got my basket of prizes. Sorry for the crinkling. The first two prizes I will be sending out as one prize, actually, is from Deb at Fondant Fiber. She generously donated this braid of fiber called Enola Gay, and it's BFL and shimmer nylon. Very beautiful. And to go with that, some of her knitter's soap. So I've used some of this, and it's just lovely stuff. So, and if the person that I drawed isn't a spinner, I will substitute yarn if they prefer. So that's the first prize. Next is from Pat at On the Dock Knits. She generously donated a project bag. It's just lovely, and I love the long handle and the ring. And also inside, she has a pocket inside as well, and has generously donated some stitch markers as well. So that's from Pat at On the Dock Knits. And I believe Pat has a podcast that she started. I only got to see a few minutes of it because I've been so busy. I'm looking forward to, after Christmas, catching up on all my podcasts. So we'll have to check that out, Pat. Good for you for starting up podcasting as well. So thank you so much for your donation. Next is some knitting notions, and these were donated by Stephanie at Stitchcraft Marketing. So these are Knitter's Pride notions, some stitch markers, and this view sizer for needle sizing, and of course Ancient Arts yarns. They were just so generous in providing 2 skeins of yarn for this knit along, and they also provided the yarn I'm using for my 3 cats, and I'm just so grateful to them. They were just so generous and so lovely to work with. The 2 skeins that are up for prizes, one is their Maine Coon Callie, lovely yarn, and of course this is from their Meow collection, and also Calico Cat from the Meow collection as well. And a portion of the proceeds from this yarn is donated to charities benefiting stray and abandoned cats. So win-win. You get some wonderful yarn and you're helping out a good cause as well. So thank you so much, Ancient Arts Yarns. These will be 2 separate prizes. I will draw for one for each winner. So I can hardly wait to do that. I will also be drawing for a $10 or less US pattern on Ravelry to one lucky winner as well. So I can't believe that's coming up so very soon. So let's see, I'll put these away and get on to what I've been working on, which, to be honest, isn't a lot. As I mentioned, I have a couple of projects that have deadlines, so unfortunately my Bonbon, Shawlette, and Roosevelt didn't even get taken out of their bags this week. Those I look forward to working on after the holidays, so I won't even bother showing you those. But there are 2 projects that, well, 3 projects that I've been working on that I can share with you today. The first one is something new that I started, well, it was probably a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't show it in the last episode because I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with it or not. Of course, it's in my Doctor Who bag with my Doctor Who charms, and as I said, it's something that I may frog, but I'll decide that after the holidays. What happened was, when I got my Knit Picks Felici, I was lucky enough to get 2 balls of their Time Traveler colorway. Now, because there's so many Doctor Who fans, and because this only comes along once in a while, it wasn't on their second latest special reserve. It was only on the latest one. It was really hard to get this yarn, and so it's very special. And so I was trying to decide what I could make that would be special as well. Did I want to make socks out of it? I have so many other Felici colorways that I am going to make socks out of. I thought, well, maybe I'll make something Doctor Who related. So what I did was I looked on other people's project pages, and I noticed that a lot of people have done Doctor Who scarves. Now, if you're not a Doctor Who fan, Doctor Who number 4, I believe, was Tom Baker, and one of his fashion accessories, I guess, something he is well known for, was his very long scarf. I think it was like something like 12 feet long. It was a ridiculous amount. And that scarf is what the Felici, the Knit Picks Felici colorway, Time Traveler, is patterned after. So the colors of his scarf. Now, his scarf is just all garter, and it's done in different colored yarns, so it's not a self-striping, obviously, but it was a huge thing, and people have made replicas of that scarf right down to, you know, the same size and length and everything. I didn't want to go that far, of course, but I thought, well, maybe I will make myself, I have 2 balls of that yarn, maybe I will make myself a Doctor Who scarf. So I started it. But again, it's just plain garter, so it's nothing to write home about that, you know, oh, wow, you know, this is something really hard. It certainly isn't. It's got to be the easiest thing to do. Although it is very, you can get into quite a trance just doing just garter stitch over and over and over again. So I don't know if I want to do that for that long. I don't know how I feel about it coming out so far, but I thought I would share with you that at least I got started on it. So I don't know if I'll continue. I'll decide after Christmas. I may frog this and end up doing socks after all, or maybe I'll do gloves or something else, or maybe even a different style of scarf rather than, you know, the traditional Doctor Who regular garter stitch scarf. I've seen some that are like chevrons and things like that, so I may switch it out. But for now, this is so soft. I just love this yarn. Right now I'm knitting it on US number 3s or 3.25s, and of course I'm keeping them in my little Bobbins DPN holder, which holds circulars just as well, from Sweet Danny at Little Bobbins Knits. Speaking of her, I'll mention her again a little bit later. So that's a project that I may or may not continue with. We will see. I'll make the decision later. Too many other decisions to make in the last few days to worry about that. So let's see. The next thing I've been working on is a gift, so I want to get it done by Friday. So I've been working on this when possible, and again, it's nothing very complex. Oh, it's in my own bag from Silver Shed USA, and Brody made this up for me. This is my drawing of Cranberry the polar bear, and I had this fabric made at Spoonflower, sent it to Anne, and she created 4 bags for me, 2 large bags and 2 notions. So I'm just thrilled with it. Thank you so much, Anne. I love them. So because this is a Christmas gift, I had to put it in the Christmas bag. And this is a scarf that I'm just doing using the Ultra Alpaca Light by Barocco. And so I'm using the color, let's see, 42104. This is their teal color, and also a little bit of the Ecru, which is color 4201. And I'm making this scarf for a gift, and I didn't want it to be really frilly or anything, so I wanted just a plain pattern. So it's just a plain scarf. It will block out to be a little bit wider, but I'm going to make it fairly long. So I'm just using the Ecru with a couple of stripes at either end, but this is a very basic you know, pattern, just knitting and purling to get the ribbing. So it's really soft, squishy, and will probably be very warm being alpaca. Again, using one of Danny's DPN holders. So I've got a lot to do on this, but this is mindless knitting. This is the kind of thing now that I've got my shopping done that I can just do, maybe watching some Christmas movies and that until Friday. Hopefully in the next few days I can get this scarf done. So yeah, it's a really simple knit. And I've got a couple of balls of the teal, so I've got plenty. But because there's a deadline for that, I've been working on this and one other project. For this, I'm using size US 7s or 4.5 millimeter needles. Now, funny story about this is the 3rd pattern that I tried for this. I started out by doing a scarf sideways. It was the Cirrus scarf, I think it was called, and I was working on that and realized after about an inch or so, it had like about 400 stitches. So you work on it sideways, and it was a linen stitch. And after about an inch or so, I noticed that I had screwed up something in the pattern, so I just frogged that. And then I tried another scarf pattern, and I don't know what I did wrong with that, and I wasn't happy with it. Frogged that, so maybe 3 times lucky I can actually get this scarf done in time for the holidays, so I hope so. Okay, so the other time-sensitive project that I was working on this week was Sheba, my cat toy. I really want to get all 3 of my cats done in toy form, and if you've been here before, you've seen that I've done Dakota, my black cat. So the second one that I've been working on is Sheba, my gray tabby. And so this, of course, is living in my Fondant Fiber bag by Deb, and my cat bag. And of course, using this beautiful, beautiful yarn from Ancient Arts Yarns. This is their Gray Tuxedo colorway, and it is so soft. It's 100% superwash merino, and I am using US 3s or 3.25 millimeter needles for this, and it is just wonderful. I just love using this really, really soft yarn. So she's not done yet, but I did get a fair amount done in the last couple of days at least. So here she is so far. Just put on her arms, and then I have to do her back legs and her tail yet, and then position them the way I want. So at least I've got her head done and her ears. Now Sheba in real life has a white muzzle, so what I did was, because this is a variegated yarn, I tried to use as much of just the cream as I could, and as I was knitting, if I came to a gray part, I would just tie a little knot in it until it was the ecru color again, and then that way just the beige part of the yarn would be showing. And I did a little nose cover, and I like the way that it gradiated down from the gray to the cream color as well. And the ears I tried to match up, you know, where I started on the yarn so that they would match. So far I'm pretty pleased with how she's turning out, but I do want to get her finished by the end of the week so that I can get another week to finish up Tawny, the third toy in the set that I want to do, and she's our ragdoll, and she is the one that Ancient Arts was so kind to have created a custom colorway just for her. So I really have to get her done. So this will probably only take another few hours to finish up Sheba with her tail and her back legs, and then I'll get started on Tawny. So those 2 projects have been taking up most of my time. The only other thing that I've done knitting wise is I finally chose which pattern and yarn I'm going to do for Danny at Little Bobbins Knits Christmas Eve sock cast on. Last year I participated in this as well, where viewers of her podcast, we all kind of get together and cast on socks on Christmas Eve all together. So she has this running thread in her Ravelry group. I don't believe there's prizes or anything, but it's fun to see what everybody has chosen to do, and that we're all knitting socks together. So I'm looking forward to relaxing on the holidays and getting some knitting done. So again, in my little bear bag that I designed myself, I've put away what I'm going to be using, and what I decided I'm going to use is the West Yorkshire Spinners Hollyberry colorway. I got 2 of these when they first came out a few months ago, and so I definitely want to make a pair of socks since it's their Christmas colorway. I didn't get the contrasting color for the heel and toe, so I'll just be making just a vanilla sock pattern that I've kind of created that I know will fit my feet. So of course, because it's Danny's kind of knit along, I have to use her DPN holders. I'll be making these 2 at a time, but on separate circulars. So I have 2 pairs of my carbons, And these are the 1.5 US 1.5 or 2.5 millimeter carbons. So all set to go. So the only thing I have to do before I start is I'm going to wind off this into two separate balls so that I can hopefully get them as close as possible to being the same. So that'll be fun. I'll have to do that before the 24th. Another thing for my to-do list. So let's see. I think that's all the knitting I have to share with you. And next, I just wanted to share with you a couple of things that arrived in the mail. It hasn't been a big mail week, but there were two things that I ordered a while ago that did arrive over the last week. The first is from Knit Picks. When I was looking on their site previously, I've got a couple of different weights of yarn from them for my dyeing that I'm going to be doing hopefully in the next few days after the holidays. I can get started on my dyeing. So what I noticed what they had on their website was Felici in the bear colorway. It isn't a colorway really, but it's undyed Felici, and I thought, oh, wonderful. So I got 6 skeins of this. Now there's a lot here. It's fingering weight. It's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, and it's 100 grams of 436 yards. So this equals 2 of the regular Felici self-striping yarns. So what I was thinking is making some contrasting colors and making some colorways up that I can use with the Felici Special Reserves that I've got for contrasting cuff, heels, and toes for some socks. So that will be interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. It is so soft, but I love that they actually had Felici in undyed yarn. So that will be a lot of fun to try out. And the only other yarn that arrived this week was from Fondant Fiber. Deb over there had some new offerings up, so I ordered some of this beautiful spangle. It's superwash merino with nylon stellina, and this one's called Super Nature. And it's 400 meters or 100 grams. It's a 4-ply, but just love the color in that. I hope you can see it's actually all sparkly as well, so that's going to make something a lot of fun to make. So yeah, I was really thrilled that that arrived pretty quickly actually from England to Canada. So really beautiful from Deb as usual. So that is everything that arrived and that I can share with you this week. The only thing left I wanted to talk about was obviously the interview that I did with the news. So as I mentioned, CTV News contacted me a few weeks back and wanted to do an interview, and I've done some interviews before on TV, radio, newspaper, you know, all kinds of things about Star Wars. Because I've been involved with Star Wars for a very long time, I worked for Rebel Scum, which is an online Star Wars collecting website. And I would write for them and do special interviews myself and articles and that kind of thing. So Star Wars has been a big part of my life. And I mean, I saw the movie, the first movie, in the theater. You know, when it first came out, and you know, that was something that we had never seen before. So ever since then, I've been collecting items. Really got into more collecting though in the 90s, about the time my daughter was born, I guess. And that's when I started doing customs. If you saw one of my first podcasts, I showed one of the customs that I've done. And then got hired on to Rebel Scum, and then became quite immersed in the fandom and was gifted a lot of collectibles. I was asked to speak at conventions, so I've met a lot of the stars. I have about 150 autographs from the stars, both that I've written to and also met in person. You know, I've been very, very fortunate in that. So, and it all culminated in 2005 with a trip to Skywalker Ranch, something that every Star Wars fan would love to do, I'm sure. So very, very lucky to have some wonderful dreams come true in the Star Wars area of my life. So I was thrilled to be able to talk to the news people about the latest Star Wars movie coming out. And they allowed me to film them, filming me. So I'll add that video at the end here. I'll just do portions of it, not the whole thing. But I'll also add on a tour, a video tour of my collection. And it's not my whole collection. What I did was, so it wouldn't be so cluttered, I put out my favorite things. And daughter and I went to IKEA, you know, a couple weeks ago, and I got new shelving units and everything, and I displayed some of my favorite things the way I've always wanted to display them. So it was a great impetus for me to get this organized and shown properly. So now that when people ask, can I come and see your collection? I can say yes, rather than, oh no, it's a mess. So I hope you enjoy these tours and that it's not too boring. So until then, you know, if you'd like to see it, go ahead. It will be at the end. But if you don't, that's great too. But I guess that's all I have to share with you this week. I hope that you enjoyed your visit today, and I hope you all have happy holidays if you celebrate, and whatever you celebrate, and I hope you have a relaxing, wonderful time with family and friends. And I will see you back in the studio sometime next week. I'm not sure what day I'll be recording, maybe next Monday as well. And I'll review some more toys from the Toy Alongs. So until then, have a wonderful week, have a wonderful holiday season, be safe, have fun, and hopefully get some knitting in as well. Until next week, bye-bye everyone. Thank you for visiting.
Can I get you to bring
3PO?
C-3PO over here?
Sure.
Okay, so you go that way.
On this side?
You need to adjust yours. Are you okay
how
with
does
that?
it look?
You just have the cable there.
Okay.
This. There we go.
Okay. Oh, that's a great light.
Yeah.
That's
We have
part of
ways
how
of
I-
making you talk.
Yeah.
Star Wars collector.
Mm-hmm.
Fair to say. Do you
Yes.
know how big your collection is?
It's scary to kind of put a number on it, but in the thousands.
Of
Yeah.
separate pieces?
Separate items, yeah. Everything from toys to exclusive collectibles that I got when I worked on an online website. There were some items that I received that only a few people have, so it's not
Like-
all toys.
Give me a sense like of something that you have that almost nobody else has.
Well, the triplexy of the three fellows who played Darth Vader, it's only one of 18 of those. Those were for the staff at rebelscum.com. So it's Hayden Christensen's autograph, Dave Prowse, and James Earl Jones. So those were a gift given to us for working on Rebel Scum.
So you've basically transformed, in essence, your house, right? To be able to
Part of it, yeah.
accommodate it. Your basement, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. Like, how did it start? Did it start with like a few things, or?
Yeah, well, I was 16 when the first movie came out, so I've been a fan since it started. So a few years, even when it first came out, I still have the comics that I collected back then. Then a few years later, I went to Mike's General Store, actually, down in St. Anne's, and he had some of the vintage figures. And so I started with two, 3PO and R2, and it started to grow after that. And then when I started creating some customs for myself, those are little figures that you can sculpt into characters that they hadn't made yet. I was noticed by an online website for Star Wars and was hired by them to do some writing and everything, and really got involved in the fandom, attending and speaking at conventions and even getting a trip to Skywalker Ranch. So That was amazing.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
What did you get to do there?
We got a full tour around. Lucasfilm people were actually moving from Skywalker Ranch in a couple of days to their new Presidio offices at that time. So we got a full tour all around and got to see, you know, all the special collectibles that George himself have, including stuff from Raiders of the Lost Ark and that kind of thing. So he's a collector too.
So when each new movie has come out, in essence for you, this is great, right? Because more stuff.
Well, there's so much stuff. I got to a point where I was collecting anything that had Star Wars on it, and that means, you know, everything beyond toys to toiletries to like household items. Everything you could physically think of had Star Wars on it. So I had to stop doing that and just pick and choose some of my favorite things. So over the last few years, I've just kept my own collection pretty much as it's been for a few years. Maybe for the new movie now, I'll pick and choose just a few things, but it definitely can't be the way it used to be because I don't have a big enough house.
And that's what I was going to say, like, with the new first movie coming out, excited?
Oh, very, of course. So many friends, you know, our generation, we grew up with Star Wars, so every few years when the new movies come out or the special editions, it was very exciting. And then there would be a lull when there isn't any movies, so you know, it kind of dies down. So I kind of quipped the other day, it wasn't just The Force Awakens, it's like the fan or the collector awakens as well, because it's definite up and down of the collector's interest as well. So yeah, it's very, very exciting. We already have friends in the UK who've seen the movie, so just probably won't go tomorrow, but over the holidays definitely looking forward to seeing it.
Going to be picking up some of the new merchandise
for probably, and probably get it for Christmas. A lot of the things actually you see were gifts, so either from family or friends, or like I say, for online friends as well.
People know what to get for you.
I'm easy to buy for. Definitely.
All right. Is there any, and I'm just going to get you to show us some of the stuff that you
okay,
have.
Sure.
I think that's good.
Okay.
Unless there's something else you wanted to say.
No, I think that's good. I hope that was okay.
It was great.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get it over here.
Okay.
And then we can also even get her looking through all the autographs and so forth.
Sure, yeah, okay. Let's do that.